I think and this is just my personal opinion, I think that in this business, women dominate. You know, there's men that do very well in this business, don't get me wrong. I'm one of them that has done very well. But and I'm not going to name names, but I've watched, you know, some of the top agents over the last 8 years of my career, and a lot of them are women, and they just absolutely dominate this business that we're in.
If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear, the camera's here.
The most challenging thing about being the owner of my own brokerage is, for me personally, I have a lot of compassion and I care about my agents and their success. Even though I'm only one person and I can only control so much, I really, really, really want them to succeed. And each agent has a different level of success that they want to attain or achieve. So helping them get to that level, that's the biggest challenge, because I'm a firm believer that there's enough business out there for everyone. I really do. I believe that. I don't have to compete with anyone. Nobody's my competition. Nobody's my competition on my team within my office, and nobody from other agencies are a real direct threat to my overall business. I don't look at it that way. The only direct threat that I feel is if I don't go in and put the work. If I don't go in and put the work in, then it's a threat. If my agents don't go in and put in the work, then it's a threat. So I really want all of my agents to get to the level of success where they feel like they're all sitting and eating at the same table. Not some Ponzi, not some pyramid, not some bullshit where I'm at the top and then there's people from the bottom feeding upwards. So yes, I could have done it that way, and yes, I'd have very different people on my staff, but the people that I have on my staff, I genuinely care very deeply about, and I care about their success. And if they're not hitting their goals and they're not getting to where they need to be, then I take on that responsibility myself, even though I know I don't have to. It's kind of like, the way I look at it is, take your favorite football team. I'm going to give you mine. Mine's the Chicago Bears. Most people that know me know that. And what happens every couple years with the Chicago Bears? They blame the fucking coach. The coach is out. Okay? I look at my role as the same thing. So if my agents are not hitting the level of success that they want, then I take that personally, because it's the coach's responsibility to get the agents where they need to be. So if your goal is to sell 5 houses in a year, then my goal is to try to help you get to that point. Now, helping you get to that point means you still have to put in effort. So if you're not putting in effort, then I can't get you there. But if you put in the effort and we're not getting there, then there's something wrong with what I'm doing. You see what I mean? So that's my biggest challenge, is making sure that everybody gets there. Because I brought on people that I didn't want to have big egos. I wanted people that had drive and a reason to become successful. And whether that's kids or a dog or whatever drives somebody and motivates somebody, that's what will get them there. And then I'm going to be, to the best of my ability, that helping hand from up here that's like, hey, I got you, but you still got to fucking reach. And if you can grab my hand, I'm going to help you get there. You know, but if you're not willing to reach and grab my hand, I can't get you there. And the reason you're going to reach and grab my hand is because you got kids that need to be fed, or they have sports or whatever. Or you have car payments or house payments or whatever it is, and you don't want to be homeless, or you don't, whatever the reason is. It could be a million different reasons, you know, but that's the challenge. With that said, I don't know that I'll ever win that challenge. And the reason that I say that is because when there isn't, I'll put it this way. I'm never satisfied with my own level of personal growth. And I think that a lot of my agents are the same. They may say differently, but I think that they have a level that they're striving for, and right now in the current changing market, they're feeling it a little bit more. And I've been in a buyer's market before. I know what it's like. I know how to navigate it, but it's scary because it's new to them. So we just have to go with the flow, ride the change, let the market start sorting itself out. Because anytime you have big changes, it takes the market a little while to react. So once the market reacts, then things should start ticking in a different direction. We don't know what that looks like. We're in a recession, even though people don't want to admit it, or they just admitted it, 2 weeks ago. So even the idea that we're in a recession is enough to scare somebody. So what do you have to do as a coach? Or as the leader of a company? Or as, I hate the term boss, but I'll use it for reference sake. You have to find a way to help your agents overcome the obstacles that they are facing. But if they're not willing to communicate the obstacles that they're facing, then I cannot teach them how to get around those obstacles. So, and not everybody is as open as I am. So maybe there's something that they really want to say, but they're afraid to say or afraid to ask. If they don't ask, I can't help. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if they did ask it, I mean, a lot of times, just as an example, I'll get a question about a listing agreement or a specific type of listing where they'll say, I know this is going to sound like a stupid question. It's like, no, it's not. We don't know what we don't know. So if you, like, say for example, you were listing a piece of land, okay? The majority of people don't know how to list land. They don't know shit about land, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is a land deal? Well, you need help. You need help. You need guidance from somebody that's done it. Does it have a well on it? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. More often than not, if it's an unimproved lot, there's not going to be anything on it. There's not going to be a well. There's not going to be a septic. There's not going to be utilities at the property line in some instances. But you don't know that. You don't know that until you go through that. And as you're going through that, the whole thing is you teach them as they go through. Okay. But I think there's a level of embarrassment to a degree to ask a question like that too, because I think they feel that they should already know. You're not going to know until you do it. This takes repetition, and a lot of repetition. So, I mean, that's a long ass drawn out way to explain, my challenge as owning a company, because you cannot teach someone to care about something or about someone, exactly. Right? I care about every one of my agents and their success, even if that means I'm spreading myself thin. I mean, to not just include my own business and my own kids and things that I have to do in my own personal development, whether it be, talking to my counselor, or God forbid I go and do something, which I don't do much of. I'm usually working or what have you. But like Saturday, I went to Elitch's and, conquered a couple things at Elitch's. Went and, did this damn Superman thing and flew around, and the people ahead of me were screaming like their life was about to be taken from them, and I did it like nothing happened. In the past, I wouldn't have done that, but it was fun. It was exhilarating, and it was. And then I did more shit, and then I went off to say that I actually did something over the weekend, which I normally don't do. It was my daughter's birthday.
Oh, how was that?
It was dope. It was dope. So yeah, I mean, I stretch myself thin all the time. And what I've noticed throughout my career is that I do my best work when my back is up against the wall. And if I could figure out a way to fix that and just stay a little bit more consistent personally, then it would make a world of difference. But I don't know, I seem to thrive under pressure, and spreading yourself thin, that'll put pressure on you.
Oh, always.
So, but you just find ways, you work through it. I mean, I'm usually up anywhere between now, like today I slept in until like almost 7, but I was up at 4 with my dog.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I was up at 4, took him out, brought him back in. So I was up intermittently between 4 and 7. So if I took away all the time that I was up with the dog, then I probably woke up at about 5:45.
Oh, gee.
So, and I'm usually up till close to midnight.
So
And then rinse, repeat. I just do it, just go with the flow,
You just
I
go with
suppose. And, that's not the best way, but it works for me in a capacity that I'm comfortable with. And being comfortable isn't always a good thing. It just works for me. Like, Saturday, took my kid to Elitch's. We were out from, I say we left the house at 10 a.m. We got back at maybe 7 p.m. And then the next morning I had a baseball game at 9 a.m. where I managed to pull my right quad muscle and jack up, I think, part of my shoulder on the back side, all on one play.
Gee.
But I'm walking around, I finished out the game, life was good. I played terribly, but...
I don't know, man. I've seen some of those clips on Facebook. It looks like you got a look. I don't know.
This last week I didn't have time to hit the cages, so yesterday I wasn't seeing the ball very well.
Oh, okay.
So
it's one of those days.
Yeah, it was just one of those days where, no matter what I did, even though my first game back, everything looked like a big ass beach ball coming in. I was able to see it perfectly. It's like, fuck, this isn't getting around me. And then yesterday, even though I had my timing right, everything was right, my swing was off. I don't know if I was pulling my head. I have no idea. I have no video of it. So, so I have nothing that I could analyze at the moment. But yeah, certainly not one of my better days on the field.
Yeah, I've seen on Facebook. It seems like you're a monster at this point. It's like it's probably just one of those days. That's all.
Yeah, it was a rough outing, but we'll make. I think this upcoming weekend we got a doubleheader, so
okay.
2 games on the Sunday. Let's see how that works, because I'm sore today and playing 2 games. Shit, and I still gotta hit the gym tonight. And,
are you back in the gym?
Oh yeah, back in the gym, and I got cleared. Was it the week before last to at least play baseball and start working out? So last week I got back to the gym, and I hit leg day on Thursday. So that could have been a residual thing when I did leg day, and maybe that's what caused me to pull the quad, but. I don't think so. I think it's because I stretched before when I was not warmed up.
Okay, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll always do it. That stretch is important.
Yeah, but you're supposed to, and everybody does it differently, right? So apparently the method that works for most is you warm up by, either jogging around, running around, throwing around, that sort of thing. Getting your body warm and moving before you stretch. Instead of taking your cold muscles, and obviously we're not cold, but you get what I mean.
Yeah,
and just starting to stretch those out when they weren't even moving 10 minutes ago, other than just to walk from the car to the field.
Exactly.
So, but when you start activating those and they start getting warm, the blood starts pumping to them. Apparently stretching at that point is better. And that's worked out for me in the past. For some reason, I didn't do that yesterday, and of course, I, fucked some shit up. So.
Dang, that makes that big of a difference when you just.
I have 2 weeks to basically say. The very first week, I didn't stretch at all. Before the game, no problems, fucking fine. This last week, yesterday, stretched before the game, problems. So, in my own little mini experiment, I failed. I failed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The body's crazy. I don't know. The body's a crazy organism for me.
Well, and I'm also, I'm almost 40, so that does make it a bit of a difference too. And, what are you gonna do? You get older and shit doesn't do what you're telling it to do the way that it did when you were younger.
Exactly.
So,
it just does its own own mind of its own. All my body parts have a mind of its own now. I'm starting to develop one.
Oh yeah. No, wake up, make old man noises and shit.
Or bend down and make every time.
Like, oh, that's a good stretch. Like when I was younger, you don't make those fucking noises. You just get up and do it and go.
Yeah, I mean, you might make a little, but now when you old.
No. Yeah, exactly.
There we go. I had to correct myself.
Yeah.
So good.
Originally, I had a goal. I was ambitious when I was younger that I would retire by 30. I'll be 40 next year, and I'm not retired.
10 years. That's not bad.
It's. And the only reason that I set that goal was I was like, I want to get to a point where I could retire and then enjoy life while I'm still young.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would have that same mentality to a degree. And then the older you get and the mistakes that you make, and you hopefully you learn from them, and you hope that they don't drag you down a path that's so fucked up that correcting it requires massive amounts of change, because as you get older, it's difficult to change.
Oh yeah.
It's difficult to rewire this son of a bitch up here into doing something that is so familiar doing for so long that I don't want to say that you just get stuck in the same pattern, because that's not a good thing, but I think we do get stuck in patterns, different patterns. So like my morning routine, that's a new pattern for me. That's been that way for the last 6 months.
Okay.
And then you kind of adapt to that a little bit, but a monumental change, towards something like a retirement or what have you. I mean, I'm nowhere near being able to retire yet. I mean, if I did, I wouldn't last long. Retirement would be 24 hours.
Right back to it.
Be right back to it. I'm not Walmart greeter status yet, but
You're a long way for that one.
A long way for that one. But no, certainly not in a predicament or a place where I can retire and maybe 55.
Okay.
I mean, I'm working on keeping my body in shape, and I'm ahead of my goal. My goal was to get down to 190 pounds by March of next year. And I weighed myself twice this morning. First time I weighed myself, I was 192.3. And then, I had my pre-game movement. I was like, let me see. Let me go ahead and weigh myself again. And I was at 191.3. So I'm a little over a pound away from my goal 7 months early.
Oh my goodness. You started this at the beginning of the year?
No. That started when I turned 38. Because I wanted to make a gradual improvement.
Okay.
So, and this isn't something that I told a lot of people, because a lot of times what I see people do is they'll post, I got this giant goal and I'm gonna go lose weight and I'm gonna fucking do this and I'm gonna fucking do that. And then like a week later, you hear nothing. It's fucking crickets, because they already gave up on it. They're already embarrassed that they gave up on it. So I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna post no before and afters. I wasn't gonna update weekly. None of that. The only reason I'm talking about it right now is because I'm that fucking close.
You're a pound away.
Yeah, and I started at 238 pounds.
Yo, that's big.
Yeah.
That's massive. People can't lose 10 pounds in
bro.
the amount of time.
So, I mean, it's to be fair, it's been a year and a half, but still almost 50 pounds.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. Do you feel better?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, you gain, I don't want to say you gain a level of confidence that's overconfident, but you feel more confident in your appearance. When you're heavier, I think you always feel like somebody's looking at you, or you'll see guys walking around trying to suck in their guts and trying to flare out their chests, and obviously they're trying to impress people. You know, let's call it what it is. But I don't have to do that now. I can take my shirt off and, you know, I'm comfortable. Comfortable in my own skin. Now, it wasn't always that way.
There's a lot of people that aren't.
No, absolutely.
There's a lot.
And that's not to say that I wasn't confident before. I'm not saying confident in my body the way that it looked. I didn't, you know, I was heavy, you know, and rocking the dad bod shit. You know, like you buy into that.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they sell the 3X t-shirts. You know? They rock the dad bod, motherfucker. Eat that fucking Snicker bar.
Everybody
knows
that.
Eat it, man. You know, drink that Coke. You know, drink as much beer and liquor as you can. Get all that empty calories. But no, it was a destination that I had in mind. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've been able to stop. I've been able to conquer. I've been able to get through. And this was my next piece of my journey. Was getting down in weight.
Okay.
I'm feeling good about it, getting back to the gym and working out, and you know, just overall feeling good and a little bit more confident in how I looked and was able to present myself. I've gone down 2 shirt sizes from 2X down to large, and I went down 3 pant sizes from a size 40 to a size 34.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a big ass
difference.
6, that's a lot
Yeah.
of inches.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah, that's big.
Wow.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So have you noticed?
Not really. No, I haven't noticed anything like that. You know, if there was a correlation to it, I haven't noticed it. I think and this is just my personal opinion. I think that in this business, women dominate. You know, there's men that do very well in this business. Don't get me wrong. I'm one of them that has done very well. But and I'm not going to name names, but I've watched, you know, some of the top agents over the last 8 years of my career, and a lot of them are women, and they just absolutely dominate this business that we're in. And this has been my philosophy for a little while on that particular subject. If you're working with a woman, and that woman doesn't even have to be particularly attractive, okay? They can be older, they can be younger, as long as they have some capacity to speak intelligently about a home, even if it's not full-on knowledge about everything yet. Men and women will work with a woman. What I've noticed is that men and women would not necessarily work with a man. There's like an intimidation factor there in some instances. And I'm sure that there's women out there that would argue, you know, my point in the opposite way. But, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to mention names, but there's some women out there absolutely crushing it. I mean, you could just look at social media, and they're just absolutely dominating in this industry. They have a huge market share, and I'm happy for it. I saw a few years ago in one of the mastermind groups that I'm a part of, and a woman had asked. They said, you know, do you guys feel like, I think it was like a sexist question, and it said something about, do you feel like men make more money than women in this business? And my response was, I don't know what the hell market you're in, but I can tell you in the market that I'm in, these women are out here crushing it. Yeah. Absolutely crushing it. And yeah, I mean, just, you know, thoroughly, you know, and when I say crushing it or dominating or anything like that, I'm not saying they're taking advantage of their clients. That's not what I mean. You know, people can, you know, when you hear the word dominate, it's like a headline you see on the newspaper or the TV. It's like, so-and-so dominated this motherfucker in this argument. No, that's not exactly what happened. It's not exactly what happened. All they did was give it that title so you'd fucking clickbait on that shit. And, you know, then you read it and you're like, well, where the fuck, who got dominated?
Right, okay.
So to be fair, let me clarify. When I say dominating in a market, I'm talking about their market share, their hustle, their work ethic, and it shows. And they're doing well. These women out here are doing well, and I couldn't be happier for them because you'll see arguments across the board in a lot of different areas where they think that there's unfair pay and unfair wages and things like that, and that may be true. I haven't broken down all the stuff on it. I'm not going to get into that argument. But if they were to try to tell me that here in my market, that women weren't making the same kind of money as men, I would argue that we're not making the same kind of money they are. But I'm not going to complain about it. They're out hustling. They're out hustling and doing what it takes. Nothing really new. Nothing really changing. I mean, we have a handful of listings that are out there right now that are. Most people will be able to understand exactly what I'm talking about. They're sitting. Listings are sitting right now because it's switched back to a buyer's market. But we do have a couple of events coming up. One of them that I'm partnered with Rich and his people on with Sarah's Home, and that's a big deal. That's a real big deal. I'm not going to go into it on this because it's not my platform, but. Then Shannon has this walk that she has scheduled, and actually what's really cool about Sarah's Home, to go back, is Shannon and Danielle are actually hosting the event on behalf of Buy Smart, which is pretty cool. That's honestly that's really neat, and I think it's really cool for them to be able to get up there and do that, because I can't stand in front of people like that, man. It's just not in me, man. Now you put like 7 drinks in me, I'll be all right.
Be good indeed.
Yeah, be good, but I don't drink, so that shit ain't gonna happen. So shit's like that. So we'll leave that on the back burner for another time. But no, I mean we have a couple of big events that are coming up, and to be fair, yes, to a degree, I'm a part of it in name only. They're not my events. I didn't come up with Sarah's Home. I didn't come up with the one that Shannon came up with, and she was in Real Producers, and with Brian Gowdy, his magazine. I was in that magazine a couple years ago, and I think it's a great production for what it is, and it was really neat for Shannon to be able to get her message out there. And my goal with that is to actually get my entire team into Real Producers at some point together. But I don't want to be the focal point. I'm not the type of person that has to be the front man. I don't care about that. I don't care about center stage. I don't want the spotlight. I take pleasure in knowing that if my agents are succeeding, that I had a role in that. I don't need a bunch of thank yous. I don't need pats on the back. I don't need that bullshit. I don't need a trophy. I want to see them succeed because I care about their personal and their professional development. And so that's just kind of, I guess that's really all that's new. I mean, aside from a changing market and having to adapt and get back to business as usual and whatever that looks like, the new norm. That was thrown around during the COVID era. The new norm.
It's gonna be another new norm.
It's gonna be another new norm. And then what's funny is I heard this guy say, how the fuck is it a new norm? How could it be a new and then normal at the same time? And that made a lot of sense to me when he said that. Because if it's new, it's not normal.
It's at all.
Right? If it's normal, it's existed. Right?
Yeah.
So if I get up and I walk to work every morning, that's normal. But if I get a car and start driving, that's new. Right? It doesn't become a new normal, does it? Because eventually it just becomes normal again. You just drive to... I don't fucking know. Anyway.
The paradox.
It's weird.
Because it wouldn't be new if it's normal, because it's already been experienced. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Well, it was a comedian, and I don't know who the comedian was, but I'm pretty sure that we could do a quick search and find out who the fuck it was that said it. But it made a lot of fucking sense to me.
It makes a lot of sense to me. It wouldn't be new if it's already a normal thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The new norm. Fucking don't make sense.
No, it doesn't at all.
But they'll throw the term around. So what is the new normal? High gas prices and fuckery? I mean, fuckery is always normal. You're always gonna have fuckery everywhere.
Yeah, the government exists.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Take the words right out of my mouth. You know, but it's yeah, fuckery. There's fuckery afoot, my friend.
There's fuckery afoot. See that Facebook post? The fucking.
Yeah, the fucking.
It's coming.
And that's funny too, because when I saw that meme, it just fit. It just fit so much shit. You know?
Yeah, just everything. That's
The fucking. When everything is going fucking right, and you know it feels wrong to feel so right, essentially. And then the fucking shit happens. And then that's the fucking.
And then that's the new normal.
Apparently.
And then here we go, the new normal.
Yeah, the fucking is the new norm.
The new norm.
Yeah.
Just prepare.
Yeah. You know, for those that actually watch this, I hope that there's things that can be taken away from what I'm saying, because I think that in this world that we live in today, there's a lot of selfishness. There's also a lot of self-glorification.
Yeah.
You know, people put themselves on a pedestal before they've earned it. And there's a quote in the movie Gladiator when Maximus steps to the Emperor Commodus, and he says, "The time for honoring yourself will soon come to an end." And I fucking felt that. Yeah,
that one kind of resonated with me too, honestly.
Yeah. And I thought that was badass. And I guess the reason that I feel that is because I see, again, so much selfishness and so much self-gratification, you know, all the time. Like you did something phenomenal when you probably really didn't. And if you did, great. But if you did, you have no reason to brag about it. There's going to be people that will brag for you. There's going to be people talking about you because of something that you did that was so great. You shouldn't have to do it yourself. Right?
Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
I'm the same. Exactly that.
Again, you know, when I sell a house, I'm not sitting there posting it saying, "Hey, I fucking sold a house. I did my fucking job." That's what I did. I did my fucking job. So maybe, just maybe, a message that somebody could take is, how about we stop being so selfish and start taking care of one another in a way that shows respect and dignity and caring for our brothers and sisters that we see every single day. You know? And don't do it because you expect something in fucking return. Because if you expect something in return, you don't really care, do you?
No, you don't.
So.
If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then how